The following video is focusing on the notion of keep things simple in business, stop making simple things complex, and I'm going to give you some examples using strategy and competencies as an example. Hi everybody, how are you? It's Mike Andrew. Allow me to please keep coming back to this theme of keeping things simple in business. Got to keep things simple. Over the years, how many meetings have you been to when you see presentations with over 30, 40, 50 slides, maybe even more? And many of those slides are very busy with a lot of wording, and we end up reading the wording and not listening to the speaker. I did a number of presentations to a few boards. I was a board advisor, and I was evaluating the effectiveness of those boards, and lengthy process. And in the end, I summarized it with one slide, 3 bullets, and it ended up having very productive, at least 1 hour conversation with the board about how effective they were working together. Keep things simple. Here's an idea. Leadership competencies. The HR world loves leadership competencies. I don't know why, but they do. And I think that the consulting world has taken a simple concept like competencies or leadership competencies and complicated it. Let me give you an example. There was a Harvard Business Review article a number of years ago. I wrote about this in one of my books, that HR went to the CEO, said we need to develop a leadership competency model. And the CEO trusts HR and says, okay. So they come up with a leadership competency model. And in the end, there were 4 contributing authors. One was a CEO of a Fortune 100 company. One was an HR academic. Another was an HR consultant, and one was an HR executive. The 3 HR professionals, very, very successful, by the way, they all jumped on the competency bandwagon and said this is a good thing. And the CEO of a Fortune 100 company said, what are they doing? They're addressing the wrong problem. But those 3 HR people, they came up with 9 or 10 synonyms for the word competency. Here's what they came up with. This is in the Harvard Business Review article. When they were describing what a competency was, the 3 of them combined came up with words like skills, behaviors, principles, dimensions, proficiencies, themes, personal attributes, leadership fundamentals, knowledge. Come on, keep it simple. I was in a session recently where they were talking about strategic thinking, and this consulting firm said that there are 5 competencies associated with strategic thinking. Do you know what strategic thinking is? Let's make it simple. Demonstrating an executive perspective. Period. Demonstrate an executive perspective. Think of things like an executive should think. You know, Jack Welch, the very famous former chairman and CEO of GE, he once said that strategy is not that difficult. You pick a general direction and you implement like crazy. He wasn't into competencies. There's a saying when it comes to strategies and competencies, at the end of the day, you bet on people, not strategies. And that's why I say that, if you look at all these companies that have strategies, they're all very positive winning strategies. And I like to ask, if every company has a winning strategy, why don't they all win? And it comes down to execution, which requires leadership. And rather than get into all the competencies, which is a simple concept made difficult, made complex, I always like to look at leadership as a person who consistently delivers results and does so with integrity, humility, while treating people with dignity. Keep things simple. Thank you.